Look, the Bible's clear on this. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, I would hear their prayers from heaven, and I would heal their land. So our hope and our faith isn't in politics. We can't trust politics. They're constantly lying and cheating and stealing and manipulating.
But if you change people individually.
That's it. Our hope is in God working in the hearts, minds, and lives of men and women. People, because, look, real, true Christians, people like you and me, not false Christians, not pretenders, but contenders, will stand up for righteousness. Like Paul said, they'll have nothing to do with the evil deeds done in darkness. They'll expose them. And that's what good Christians do. They can't stand to be around tyranny. They can't stand evil. They will stand up for what's good and what's true and what's right.
Well, I don't even claim to be a good Christian. I'm actually, ashamed of a lot of things I've done, bad thoughts I have and things, but at least I have a conscience. So many other people, I think being good is just even having being aware. Well, most people aren't even concerned.
Well, you're alluding to some more of the end times prophecies where they talked about seared consciences, where people's conscience would just disappear. And finally, they'd be so evil, so wicked that God would finally turn them over to do what ought not to be done. They'd reach a point of no return. They'd hit the edge.
Is that the ultimate sin?
No, that would be the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. It'd be the only sin that, according to the Bible, that can't be forgiven.
And what is that?
Well, technically, it's to say, well, I have no belief whatsoever in that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, or that the Holy Spirit exists, that power of God, that Spirit of God can indwell men.
But doesn't that only happen if it's coming down on you and then you refuse it?
Well, I don't know. I don't like to get into all that theology and semantics because I'm not God. So
that's pretty heavy stuff, though.
It is. It's about as deep theological of a thinking as you can probably get. And everybody has their own personal perspectives and views on those kind of things. I know God and Jesus holds the keys to heaven and hell. And, hey, I've surrendered to the foot of that cross. I've said I'm sorry for my sins. I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen, I've done bad things. Let's face it. We all have a sense of justice. That's why you every day are on air combating the evil and the wickedness and the tyranny in the world. Because
now, what's the Bible passage about if somebody says there is no truth, run from them? People know there's a truth. People know there's
no. In fact, the word conscience, con means with, science means knowledge, with knowledge, conscience. So every time we lie or steal or lust or get angry or whatever without cause, we know it's wrong. We know in our hearts it's wrong. And that's why no man will be with an excuse on the day they die and they stand before God. They can't say, oh, God, I'm so sorry. It was wrong. I didn't know it was wrong to lie. I didn't know it was wrong to steal. I didn't know it was wrong to do these things. No, we know right from wrong. Even in the deepest, most darkest jungles of Africa, people inherently know it's wrong to sleep with another man's wife. It's wrong to steal from your neighbor. It's wrong to kill somebody. In fact, people that live in a cannibalistic society have to be taught. They have to be brainwashed. Same thing we do with our soldiers, right? We train them. We send them to boot camp, and we kill the conscience, cremation of care, if you will. We kill the conscience so that then they can go and do the things that evil men do without having to be convicted by that conscience. So, yeah, your conscience is a good thing, and you ought to listen to it more often. If everybody would, maybe they'd be a little more kinder.
But going off the Ten Commandments, it's thou shalt not murder is the real, defending yourself is okay.
No, self-defense is not murder. There's a big difference between thou shalt not kill, which is the most commonly way it's quoted.
And that's why defensive war is the only good war.
That's right. That's why our forefathers knew that. We were never to go out and invade other countries and station ourselves in those countries. No. If attacked, we had the proper right to defend ourselves and defend our liberty, our freedom, our country.
And then it feels good.
It does feel good.
But it would feel horrible to go out and just start bullying somebody.
No, and in fact, unless you're weak. The biggest bullies in school are usually the biggest cowards. And once they get knocked down on their butt, they give up quickly. And it's the same thing with this very, very vocal minority within this country. If the majority, the people that outnumber, the people they're supposedly serving, would finally wake up, rise up, speak up, never shut up or give up, man, this whole country could change like that.
But the New World Order's been very good with all these glitter bug fake preachers to make everything look bad.
Hey, man, they just keep dangling stuff in front of the left hand. They know, Satan knows, his whole system has been set up on the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet. See, the first of all 10 commandments you always break is thou shalt not covet. Before you steal, you'll covet the item you take. Before you lie, you'll covet your own self-preservation and not paying the consequences of telling the truth and so on. We always covet first. We look at the neighbor's house, their car, their wife, their things. We say, I want that. And we'll sell our souls to get it. And the system knows that. Those who worship...
Well, I commit a lot of sins and I'm very worldly, but ever since I was a little kid, the one good thing I'm strong at is I don't covet. I'm not that envious of a person. somebody's got a beautiful wife, girlfriend, nice house. I'm happy for them. I never realized how powerful coveting and envy was with the general public. They're like ravenous with it.
Well, and then it leads to idolatry, right? That's why, American Idol's the #1 show on television today, because they see that and say that I want that for me. I want to be the celebrity. I want to be the star. I want to be the center of attention. Me.
And to be clear, I'm not saying having nice things is bad. But no. We're saying putting it up there as the idol, worshiping it.
It's okay to own stuff. Just don't let the stuff own you. There's a big difference between the two.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't do anything immoral for something. I wouldn't cheat anyone for something. Like, I have all these enemies who I could destroy, who I know information about. And a few times, even trying to defend myself, I've almost burned them, and I can't make myself even do that. And I don't understand that rule where even though the worldly, it seems right, I just can't do it.
Well, it's funny you allude to that, because that's exactly the culture that we're living in today. If it feels good, if it feels right, do it. It's okay. And that stems from Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law. The most wicked and evil man of his day said there's only one law, and it's polar opposite of God's law, and that's do what thou will. Do what thou will should be the whole of the law. If you want to separate a country, a person from God, the fastest way to do it is to get them to do their own will. When you forget God's will for your life and for this world and for this planet, and you start to do your own will, do whatever you want to do, it'll ultimately lead to evil.
All right, I want to talk to Brad, Keith, Anthony, and John. Quick calls, but first, let's go to thegreatnews.com. And there is part of the video where Darrel calls the lady who it turned out has serious health problems, was going bankrupt. The computer randomly generates it. You have that on the screen.
It's amazing is I get her answering machine first, and I start to leave her a message kind of taunting her, hey, you missed the call kind of thing, and she picks up.
So this is live, unedited, is why you hear the ringing. Here we go.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of a better person winning.
No, I prayed before we took this call, and God perfectly prepared this person. No two ways about it.
First call. And it's a lady who's
really needing
help.
Answering machine. Hi, Beth. This is Darrel Rundus with 10andwin.com. Today's the day we give away $20,000. I hate to tell you this, but I was calling to give you your chance to learn to list the law in order in 20 seconds or less.
Hello?
Hi, is Beth there?
Yes.
Hey, Beth, this is Darrel Rundus with 10 and Win, and I wanted to get you to learn or get to list the law in order in 20 seconds or less. Are you ready to go?
Oh, my gosh.
Ready?
Yes.
We got to go now. Set, go.
No other gods before me, no idols, no blasphemy. Remember the Sabbath, keep it holy. Honor your father and mother. Do not kill. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not covet.
Yay!
Watch how I get her here.
Beth?
What?
Do you know how long that took?
I don't have any idea.
Yeah, it was less than 20 seconds, so you have to do it in 20 seconds. And you did it in 17. Congratulations, you won!
You're so mean.
No, I won't kid you about a thing like that.
She's just blown away.
You were the first person I called.
You gotta be kidding me.
She's like speechless.
Beth, congratulations, $20,000. Let me ask you the obvious question. What are you going to do with the money?
Well, oh my goodness sakes, this is such an answer to prayer. I'm going to pay off credit cards. I'm going to buy me a car because, a used car, because our car just went out like 2 days ago, and I've been on the internet trying to find something that we could afford.
Well, now you can afford up to $20,000 car. That is just wonderful.
That's amazing.
And
people can watch the full video at thegreatnews.com. And again, she has a serious medical problem.
Well, on the 10-minute version on our site there, it doesn't go into all that. But then right below the video, there's a place to download the full, unedited, extended version where you get to all the behind-the-scenes stuff. A lot more conversation with her after she had won the money and so on. So,
but she has, what does she have?
Multiple sclerosis. And what was even...
But see, that is a perfect person to get the $20,000.
No, not just that, Alex, but you know what she did? She did what I originally intended this to be all about, which was a way for people that might be filled with fear to get up and to go out and to start talking to people about the things of God. She made her own little billboard up that said, name 10, win 20,000. And she would get people over and talk to them about the commandments and then the things of God, how we'd all broken those commandments, but that God loved us so much, he sent his son to die.
And then she won after that?
Yeah, and so she's doing all this stuff. She's paying it forward. She's not coveting the cash. She's out there using it as a way to minister to other people and to talk to other people and to pay it forward. And God blessed her faithfulness by having her win the money. Unbelievable. And that's hey, we serve a mighty God. And that's
almost like the widow's mite story.
Absolutely. She gave all she had. She was down to the very little bit. And I guarantee you the $20,000 I gave wasn't even close to all that she gave.
Well, that almost makes me cry, Darrell. I've got tears in my eyes.
Yeah, it touches me too. And that's.
But I'm glad that, the hundreds of people called and signed up for it, right?
Thousands. Yeah, thousands.
And then the first call.
The very first one.
Is a lady who really, really needs it.
Yep. And she almost didn't get it because I got the answering machine. How about that? Isn't that amazing? I just love it. God works in amazing ways.
We're going to take a few final calls from at least Brad and Keith and Anthony in the final segment. Darrel Rundus here with us. Always great to have him in studio. And we just really, really appreciate the great work you're doing, Darrell, and the support you've given our operation as well. Stay with us.